Now we turn to a recently created award for the Irish American Hall of Fame, our Hometown Hero Awards. This award was inspired by the visionaries and founders of the Irish American Heritage Center, Hugh and Josephine O'Hara, who were also the first recipients of this award last year. The Hometown Hero Award recognizes individual contributions and outstanding efforts to preserve and strengthen Irish heritage and culture at the local level. I am pleased to present the first Hometown Hero Award to Mr. Peter J. O'Brien, Sr. Peter has long been dedicated to Irish culture and community service in the city of Chicago. Peter is president of MADO Management LP. Is it pronounced MADO or MADO Management? MADO. MADO Management is a diversified family-owned corporation which is in the business of real estate management and development, nursing home operations, and restaurant resort operations. Its most widely known entity, of course, is O'Brien's Restaurant and Bar in Chicago's Old Town neighborhood. I've been there way too many times, Peter. Peter is past president and chairman of the Irish Fellowship Club of Chicago. As chairman, he ushered the Irish Fellowship Club into a new millennium and provided remarkable leadership to the project of compiling and editing the Irish Fellowship Club's centennial history. Peter's current civic involvement includes serving on the ambassadors of Mercy Board for Mercy Home for Boys and Girls, and for over 20 years raising support for Mercy Home, especially through St. Patrick's Day celebration at O'Brien's. Y'all can help. He is a trustee and past president and chairman of the Old Town Merchants and Residents Association, and is currently the commissioner of Special Service Area Number 848 for Old Town. Peter is the co-founder of the Kennedy Forum, Illinois, and is part of an organizing committee to host the Kennedy Forum on Mental Health and Disabilities in Illinois on November 13, 2014. Forum is to join Patrick Kennedy and the national organization to invigorate communities to implement policies to ensure the equitable delivery of mental health services to all in need. Peter is a member and sponsor of NAMI, Greater Chicago, the National Association of Mental Illness, and he is currently a board member of the Greater Michigan Avenue Association and chairman of the Capital Development Board, and previously served on the board of directors for the Chicago Convention and Tourism Board, Chief Chicago Bureau, the Metropolitan Pier, and the Exposition Authority, and the Illinois Development and Finance Authority. Woo! That's a lot of accomplishments, Peter. I'm very pleased to pronounce the 2014 Hometown Hero Award to Peter O'Brien.
I really think I should stop right here because Katie did a wonderful job, and I cannot compare to that. I want to tell you that I'm a little bit confused, though, because I certainly understand the hometown part, but not the hero part. I really am humbled by the opportunity to stand up in front of so many of my hometown heroes, to tell you the truth, and a lot of them are here. I think you just heard them a few minutes ago. But let me single out one of them who takes care of kids that are in need all the time. A lot of us in this audience, and myself certainly with the great family that I come from, that have been privileged and blessed throughout my life. But there's a lot of children in the city of Chicago and of course in our nation that don't have families and come from disjointed families. Well, Father Scott Donahue of Mercy Home for Boys and Girls is of mine because of all the angels that are with him at that table that actually do all the work, Scott. You know that. Let me begin by thanking the Irish American Heritage Center. The Irish American Heritage Center is something that I remember with my brother a long time ago, back in the 80s. I think it was probably 87, 88 or so, somewhere around there when I was traveling over here and my brother was an elected official and he was helping those organizing it to find the appropriate place. And so there was a lot of fun to that. And I got to admit to you, when my kids were young, when my daughters, they spent a year or two here dancing, so I would come around those times. I haven't been here in a few years now, so I'm very grateful to be back again, especially in this honor. And to Mr. John Gorski, thank you for your service to the Irish American Heritage Center. And to Pam Taylor and her entire committee, thank you for this honor. Cliff Carlson, the city of Chicago owes you a great debt of gratitude for what you do for the Irish Chicagoans here. You are a great editor. A tireless worker and a great friend. You are one of my heroes as well. Thank you. Thank you for this honor. So everybody has met Pam Taylor, but I'm sure you know her husband, Tim Taylor. At least I listen to him from time to time. So Tim Taylor and Mike Schlevin of the Union City Irish Radio are here. I think it's 12:40 on the radio, if I'm not mistaken. I want to also thank the sponsors that have made this all possible tonight, and especially the Plumbers Union, represented by Jim Coyne, who's here tonight. We're honored to have him here. Jim Coyne and the Plumbers Union, Local 130, is responsible for keeping the spirit of Chicago's Irish, going for nearly 60 years now. I know it was over 50 years. I was surprised to recently hear that it's going to be 60 years next year. So in Jim's great leadership, I'm sure we're going to have a great event next year, and everybody come out to, it's not an old town, maybe we'll work on that. It's downtown still. Jim will have to talk about that. But Jim Coyne and his leadership to the union has been a tremendous credit to the Irish Chicagoans. In fact, my uncle, Tom O'Brien, is a retired member of Local 130. So I'm very proud to be amongst the Chicago Irish. Katie, thank you again for leading us. As I said, I'm going to cut this short because you've done a wonderful job in leading us all here. I do have another hero that's in the room that I have to recognize. And I've got to tell you, again, being hometown, I understand. Being a hero for myself, I don't. But Kathy Taylor, who's the leader of the Irish Fellowship. Well, Kathy is a past president of the Irish Fellowship Club. She is the president all the time. She supports all of us that have had the great honor to be the president and chairman of the board of the Irish Fellowship Club of Chicago. Kathy was there, as was I, when we were able to support the Irish American Heritage Center with, I think it was a little bit more than 100,000. It was way back in the 80s, and I remember those days. And so you have done a wonderful job, Irish American Heritage Center. I wouldn't be here tonight if it weren't for my parents, Mary and Dan O'Brien. In fact, that's the name made of. Mary and Dan O'Brien is the name of our management company, our parent company. I am extremely humbled and grateful that I've been at the knee of my dad for all the years. I've worked with my mother and my father, who were equal partners, not only in marriage, but my mother was the accountant, my dad was the risk taker, and I am proud to have been right in the middle of them. So I just want to pay tribute to my parents, who have given me so much in life that I'm very appreciative of. And there's always been a special place in my heart for my late brother, Danny O'Brien, as I mentioned just a little while ago. Danny was an elected official. In fact, he was a hero of mine, being elected state senator. We didn't get as far as United States Senator, but state senator. At 24 years old, he ran, couldn't take his office until he was 25 years old. So he still ranks as the youngest ever elected and seated state senator in the state of Illinois. So I'm very proud that I was with my brother. I got to tell you a quick story. My brother was the oldest of the family. I'm the youngest of the family. 4 girls in between. My brother always said, and I'll clean it up if some of you meet my brother, but my brother always said, I'm not going to let you be a sissy, you're hanging around with me. So at about 10, 12, and 13 years old, I was with my brother in Springfield all the time, and so I always have a special place in my heart. My brother really instilled the Irish spirit, the fighting spirit in me. He was an Irishman through and through, and loved everything about Chicago and Chicago's Irish. So I know that Dan's with me today, helping me through this, as a matter of fact. I just want to finish by saying thank you to my family that's here tonight, and my family that isn't here tonight. My daughter Caitlin O'Brien is with us today, and we call her Katie as well. My daughter Megan O'Brien is with us today. And our daughter, Reedy O'Brien, is not with us today. She's in Boston. She recently moved there with her new husband. So she has been very supportive of me as well. And I appreciate that from all of my children. My wife, Bibi, and I want to tell you that there is a hero that's not here tonight. He's in my heart. And that's our son, Peter Jr., who left us not too long ago after a tough and long battle with brain disease. He suffered for over half his life, and he's now in God's hands after 32 years. And so I want to tell you that it's heavy with my heart. Peter, I know he's up there and again guiding us. Probably have a good game of handball with my brother for that matter too. My wife, Mimi Mary O'Brien. The love of my life that allows me to do everything that I like to do, especially being Irish and going to O'Brien's restaurant. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
Sorry, not to be high maintenance. All right. That was a beautiful speech, Peter. Our second Hometown Hero Award is presented to Maureen O'Looney. We all know Maureen. You might not know this member. My dad, good man. All right, did anyone know that Maureen was actually born Kathleen Ann Stump on February 8, 1922 in, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, is it Bohola? Bohola, all right, County Mayo. Her aunt started calling her Maureen when she was a little girl, and I guess it just stuck. Maureen arrived on a steamship in 1953 and has had an immeasurable impact on her adopted country ever since. Since opening the famed Shamrock Imports and a glass of wine. Thank you. We just sent that over. O'Brien's table, maybe. So Maureen arrived on a steamship in 1953 and has had a huge impact on our community. Since opening the famed Shamrock Imports store, which I'm sure all of us have bought quite a few things from there, on the corner of Belmont and Laramie in the Cragin Neighborhood in 1967, Maureen has been a true pillar of the Irish community in Chicago and a staunch supporter of the immigrant population in the city, even being featured on the Conan O'Brien show in June of 2012. That was funny. Did you see that? That was funny. A true Chicagoan and a naturalized citizen, Maureen quickly became the go-to person for Irish immigrants, both young and old, when they arrived in Chicago. Her boundless energy led her to assist in the founding of many Irish-American organizations, including Gaelic Park, our Southsiders, the Irish-American Heritage Center, a chapter of the American Congress for Irish Freedom, and the Emerald Society of Illinois, to name a few. She has through the countless benefits she has organized over the years. Wasn't she known as the matchmaker? Wasn't she the matchmaker? Did anyone like meet each other through her? Anybody? You did, Matt Berry. All right. Are you with your wife tonight? No. Perhaps the most important organization Maureen has helped steer in the Chicago Irish Immigrant Support, a nonprofit founded in 1998 by Irish bishops and Cardinal George to see the pastoral needs of Chicago's incoming Irish population. The CIIS also provides complimentary and confidential immigration services, allowing hundreds of Irish the opportunity to gain U.S. citizenship. Its broad spectrum of services helps these newcomers to thrive in their new country. Maureen has been a beloved pillar of the Irish American community in Chicago for over 40 years, providing countless contributions in both public and personal ways. Unfortunately, Maureen fell ill and is unable to be here tonight. However, we are lucky that Maureen felt well enough to record a video acceptance of the award. So here she is.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to this great party which has been put on this evening by the Irish Hall of Fame. It's the Hero Award, and I am one of the lucky people who is receiving this. Don't know why, but I suppose there is some reason along the way for my 40-odd years around Chicago. You see, doing what I thought was always something good to do was to help people, and I've always tried that. People helping people is something that is a great thing, and I continue. I said I'm older than I was 40 years ago, but I will continue, as I said, the best I can in helping other people. So again, thanks to each and everyone who has any way helped to make this evening a success for everyone.
Of the Irish American Heritage Center to accept the award on Maureen's behalf.
Thanks, Katie. I was with Maureen earlier, and I'd like to, before I give you an update on her health, I'd like to tell a couple stories. Maureen has raised well over $1 million for benefits here. Over the years, Maureen helped put Mary and I together, which she's been a hell of a match. So Maureen's done a great job, and she knows so many. I have just a few stories I'd like to share. You all know last year the Natasha McShay situation, and we became involved in that. And there was a meeting put together with Martin McGinnis and Peter Robbins. And when Martin talked to me about doing this quick meeting, he flew in to meet Natasha's family. He also said, make sure that Maureen is available. And that was the first thing he wanted to know after how Natasha was doing. So Martin wanted to be here tonight to accept this award on behalf of Maureen. She loved the pipes, Pat and everybody here from the Emerald Society. She would like to be here just because you guys are here. You're a big part of the family. When we had a meeting with Martin McGinnis in Stormont, Cliff and I were there a couple of years ago to raise money for IBAM. Martin, after he said, how is the center? I said, you know, we'd like to, how about if we call Maureen? And I said, I have her. He says, I have her. Martin has Maureen on his speed dial, and it's amazing. I said that Maureen helped with Mary and I when I met Mary. She said, before we go any further, you have to come tonight to Galvin's and meet Maureen O'Looney. And I walked up to Maureen, and she was standing at the end of the bar. There was an immigration meeting there that night. And she looked me up and down and said, what exactly are you doing? But I passed the grade with Maureen, and then it was important to Mary. One of the reasons our building is here is Maureen, not only that she was one of the founders like Tom Boone and others, but because of the gift shop, which is added now, since we've opened, Maureen helped us open the gift shop here, has added over almost $200,000 to our income here at the center. Income that we sorely need to continue to offer the things we do. There's so many funny stories. Maureen's first baseball game, Mary, she said to Mary, "Why are they doing those guys in the black suits? What have they done?" And it was her first baseball game, and she was amazed at some of the noises and wanted to know what that man was doing throwing that rock at that guy with the stick. So, I mean, you could go on and on. Her radio show, I wanted to make sure. Oh, Peter, you'll love this story. Maureen, you know, President Clinton visited Maureen a number of times and was called to the White House for a luncheon. And I asked her one day, she had this picture with President Clinton, and I said, "Maureen, what was your fondest memory of the White House?" And she said, "Oh, it's such a big building," and she, a little bit. I said, "Well, what do you think?" And she said it was the lamb chops. She said they flew the lamb chops and they were so small, like bite size. They flew them all the way in from Ireland. And they're almost as good as those at O'Brien's. Maureen and I were recently at O'Brien and had to ask for the lamb chops. She couldn't find them on the menu, but they found, Peter's staff found lamb chops for Maureen. Anyway, Maureen is recovering. She's home from the hospital. We've been with her all week fixing up the house. We have an army going there tomorrow. Maureen has reached the point in time where she needs to be a receiver. She's going to give her all her life, and we're going to give her as much as we can for all that she's given all of us. She wishes she could be here, but she's saving her strength, and she told me she would be here when the president comes in on May 11th. When the president of Ireland visits us here on May 11th, Maureen O'Looney. So thank you very much on behalf of